Good evening. We feared the worst, but today are celebrating the very best outcome in the search for Cleo Smith. For 18 days, the 4-year-old was missing. She disappeared from a campsite in the middle of the night and was rescued in the middle of the night from a bedroom just minutes from where her family has been waiting. While we've been given an image of Cleo happily in her hospital bed, a 36-year-old local man who only became a suspect yesterday is also in hospital, under arrest.
A beaming Cleo Smith in hospital with a wave clutching an ice block, found when all hope seemed lost.
What a great day. We now have returned Cleo to her loving parents. It's a wonderful day for this little girl and her loving family.
18 days after she vanished, early this morning, they found the little girl in the pink pyjamas.
Cleo, my name's Cameron. How are you? Are you okay? We're going to take you to see your mummy and daddy, okay? Is that good?
Detective Senior Sergeant Cameron Blaine saw her first.
I just wanted to be absolutely sure that, it certainly looked like Cleo. I wanted to be absolutely sure it was her, so I said, "What's your name?" And she didn't answer, and I said, "What's your name?" She didn't answer again, so I asked a third time, and then she looked at me and she said, "My name's Cleo," and it was, and that was it. So,
at 1 a.m, police raided this home in Carnarvon. Cleo was inside, alone.
I'm just so proud. I've got to be the proudest police commissioner in the world because I'm so proud of this team. They're just dedicated team. It's an outcome that, we hope for. You don't always get what you hope for.
A neighbour ran out as detectives placed Cleo in the police car.
I stood up and ran there, stood up toward the detective's window, and then I saw Cleo in the back, that's it.
Cleo was quickly reunited with her mum and stepdad.
So what was Cleo's reaction to seeing her parents for the first time?
Oh, mummy, big hugs, kisses, and lots of tears, so as you can expect.
Ellie Smith took to social media a simple message: our family is whole again.
Good morning, ma'am. Sorry to bother you. I just wanted to ask what your thoughts are that Cleo Smith was found right next door.
Very pleased. I actually got a call about 4:30 from my nephew and said, "Aunt, I just put the news on and she's been found."
WA's Police Commissioner messaged the Premier with the news.
I woke up at about 3 and I saw the message, so it was a great piece of news, and he sent me a photo of little Cleo in a hospital bed sitting there smiling, so it was a wonderful piece of news.
A growing wave of relief rolled over the country. From the PM in Dubai.
This is every parent's worst nightmare, and the fact that that nightmare has come to an end and our worst fears were not realised is just a huge relief.
To the local baker.
Since I found out, I've had goosebumps and they haven't left my body for the last, 2 hours.
As police rescued Cleo, they arrested a 36-year-old man at another location. It's thought he is not known to the family. In the carport, a small Mazda sedan. The question now, is it the car that was seen driving from the campsite at 3 a.m. the morning Cleo disappeared?
See, maybe they take it off in the car, like if he's in a rush. Yeah, like if he's paranoid or,
One neighbour thought it was odd the man had been seen buying nappies at the local Woolworths when they knew he had no children. Another said in recent days the behaviour of the 36-year-old had changed.
He doesn't have his dog at the front, he have his dogs at the back, but through all this week he had his dog at the front. And he's been acting weird,
Cleo was found just 7 minutes from the family home, 3 minutes from the local police station, and 75 kilometres from the Blowholes campsite from where she was taken. Police used battering rams to enter the house. The sounds must have been terrifying before an officer softly asked the 4-year-old, "What's your name?"
And she said, "My name is Cleo," apparently it's recorded on a video, so that's no doubt an amazing piece of video, and it must have been just one of those spine-tingling moments when she said her name and they picked her up. So just a wonderful moment for all of us.
So how did police do it? What led them to the nondescript house where they found Cleo? It wasn't a tip-off. All we know so far, senior police are praising the painstaking work of analysts going through phone data and social media. 100 officers worked on the case in Carnarvon. As the days dragged on, they never stopped. Dogged work that tonight has a family reunited. Mark Burrows, 9 News.
I want to bring in 9 News Perth presenter Michael Thompson now, who's outside the house in Carnarvon where Cleo was found. Michael, good evening to you. Police are taking items from that house right now.
Good evening, Pete. Yes, they are. I just saw about 15 bags go into a police car. We saw a number of items, including what appeared to be a rolled-up rug, also taken. There's a huge police presence here. They're knocking on doors, they're talking to locals, talking to neighbours, and the forensics team is also very large. Pete, they may have found Cleo Smith, but this investigation is really just beginning for the police officers. They'll be at this house not just for a few days, but for probably a few weeks. So the search has ended. And what a remarkable result. Cleo Smith found safe and alive. I can tell you, Pete, the feeling in this town, a lot of the police officers, these are hardened police officers. They've been around a long time. They are all openly admitting they really shed a tear. They had no problems at all expressing the emotion they had. Not just the team that knocked down the door and found her, but the officers that have been following it, the senior officer. And our police commissioner, Chris Dawson, said he certainly had tears in his eyes. So, remarkable result. Cars are tooting their horns, Pete, as they go past, because everyone's saying, at last, we've found Cleo Smith.
Tomo, there's a lot of happiness on the other side of the country as well. Thank you, mate. It's been an excruciating 18 days for Cleo's family. Sophie Walsh is with me in the studio tonight. Sophie, how did it all unfold?
Peter, begins on Friday, October 15. Cleo and her family arrived at the Blowholes campsite just north of Carnarvon. By 6 a.m. the next day, the 4-year-old has vanished, her sleeping bag also gone. A full-scale search is launched, but police hold grave fears. On October 17, they begin investigating the possibility Cleo was abducted. A day later, detectives release an image of the sleeping bag she was last seen in. Then 4 days into the search, Cleo's parents make an emotional appeal for information. By mid-week, a new lead, reports of a screeching car around the time she disappeared. On October 21, the West Australian government offers up $1 million reward for her safe return. Then 1 week on from her disappearance, the land search is scaled back and hopes are fading until 1 o'clock this morning when police made that remarkable discovery. Cleo found alive in a home in Carnarvon, less than an hour from the campground she went missing. A remarkable turn of events, Pete.
Sophie, thank you.